Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are in a big ol' war against Britain, and unfortunately, it looks like they are attempting to naval invade the Trucial coast, which will give them a front with me in Oman. So I think I need to actually put an army over there. And I'm not sure which one. There's still a lot of enemy armies here in India. Hopefully I can get a hold of this. Where's this? It's Oman. Alright. Alright. So I do see that. No, that's over here. Alright. So I need to look to this sooner rather than later. Alright, first field army. I can't station them in an HQ. Alright, that's not good. What front are you on? The ceded districts are a common front. Alright. That's a front. At least wise I feel affronted. Now what about this army? This army... Yeah, we'll move them to the Arabia HQ so that they can stop up that naval invasion. Now, I should have an army on the way to the west. Yeah, the 5th Field Army. Unfortunate. How's the Bohai Gulf Fleet? They're all the way on. They're on their way all the way back to China. Alright, beautiful. So those fronts have been clinched. We got an army moving into Oman to protect them. We got fleets on their way up around this way, British East Africa, and default, not my problem. We got some naval battles happening here. French winning naval battles over here, but we don't have that long to deal with this, so I really need to come in hot if I can. Because they don't have a lot of infantry here in Britain. I can't invade the home countries, but I can naval invade the West Country. Sorry, Cornwall. Alright, so now... Oh, they error-handled themselves all the way back to China. Gosh darn it. See, that should not have happened. Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to naval invade them with... See, I don't know why that happened. Those troops were supposed to be stationed there in order to prevent this from happening. Which means they've got occupation of Oman again. I stationed an army there. As you can tell, I'm very salty. Alright, well, Oman's out of the war. Who's leading it on our side? I am. Persia wants to give us investment rights. No, thank you, sir. Let's go ahead and send another army to France, but actually to Britain is their ultimate destination. The field army is there. We are fighting back enemy fleets. Battles are going fast. Come on, come on, come on. Hey! We got them down in Desires. And they are willing to lose the Raj. So, I was salty for a second. I'm not salty anymore because I won. Alright, nobody else has any war goals here. So, I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm pleased. In fact, I am pleased. They didn't get to steal Brunei. They didn't get any of my other stuff. They got Hormuz. They got Oman. Lost the Raj. Good trade, Britain. Good trade. Beautiful. Alright, so, East India. Let's be better friends. And there's triage. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and put triage active in all of our armies. I suppose I should have activated mobilization options. But better late than never. This is going to make wars significantly more expensive. So what mobilization options do I want? Not dope, that's for sure. So liquor, sugar, and tobacco are the questions. So the real question is, how affordable are they in my market? Sugar is dirt cheap. Is this tobacco? This is coffee. Liquor is basically dirt cheap. Tobacco is a little cheap. Alright, so we'll do liquor and sugar. And that will be our mobilization structure. And that, of course, will make our wars more expensive. But that's okay. We can afford it. I would love to be able to afford rail transport for my armies, but I think that's not in the cards right now. I finished building stuff, and now cash flow is going really well. And in fact, I have the ability to basically build whatever I desire. So, I think a goal is going to be to build up some more universities. Up to level 5 in Chongqing. We'll build up to level 5 in Shuzhou. We'll build up to level 5 in Nanjing. And other than that, we'll build one in the south. We'll build a few in the south. Guangzhou and Nanning. Now you might be asking, to Gencat, are all these universities really necessary? And no, but also yes. Like, getting this tech spread up is really, really useful for us long term. And we're still getting tech spread to us by a lot of other countries. It's the 1870s, and we don't have shrapnel artillery yet. So, you know, we're doing what we gotta do. Cash flow, though, super duper good. Feeling pretty good. After that, I think we'll look to the economy. Fertilizer's doing alright. Clothes are doing alright. Luxury clothes are very affordable. So let's try exporting. We can sell to... Hey! It's my man, Bengal! Oh my gosh, there's a bunch of them! No, there are 2 of them! Now there are like 10 of them. Heck yeah! Let's frickin' conquer some countries. Bengal, you are actually a great power. Okay, I can't grab Bengal just yet. Hindustan, though. I can grab Hindustan. Al-Siraj, you're falling in Liberty Desire. Afghanistan, you're falling in Liberty Desire. Beautiful. So, suppose I want to make Hindustan a tributary. Patiala will stand against. It'll be 10 infamy. I think I can swing that. There are a lot of countries that might intervene, but not a lot that would necessarily do anything useful. So let's get going here. Beautiful. Am I crazy? Did I mess this up? Do I not get my vassals as war participants? I think I can enforce the thing once they're actually once the war's actually going. So we'll mobilize the first field army. That should be all I need. They don't really have much of an army over there. Gosh, I sure hope I can enforce military access. If I can't, it's going to be a real shit show. That's okay. Alright, so what else do I need to do? I'm trying to improve relations with Bengal. That was probably a dumb way to do it for things, because I guess me and Bengal are gonna start splitting up the just carving up India, or that's what they would do if they're smart. If they're not, I might just start eating small Indian states, or not eating them, but turning them into tributaries, because that just seems like a sensible plan. Let's get the game speed going a little faster here, and we'll see what goes down next. I don't need relations to be real bad. Okay, so they've started embargoing me. Alright. I would love to have a network of tributaries in the subcontinent. That would make me so pleased. So my progress towards earning recognition. I still have low standard of living. Mining accident, again. A mine in eastern Guangdong has collapsed, trapping the miners within the dark shafts below. The scale of the accident has made the tragedy a story across eastern Guangdong and the nation. They dug me out, but left my friend behind. That was all they could get out of the foreman was able to get out of the wretched boy. City rags clung to him like the wispy strands of a torn funeral jacket. Whether he held back his tears for fear of a beating or to keep strong, the foreman did not know. He was spent for the day. The foreman hoped the manager had a mind for mercy. Once again, options are: this is a small price to pay for the march of industry, stronger and happier industrialists, but lower stratum pops radicalized. Outrageous abuse of the common man cannot continue. Middle stratum popped trade unions and made stronger and happier, but upper stratum pops radicalized. Or the mines are a blight upon men and countryside alike. Rural folks stronger and happier. Middle stratum pops radicalized. I'm gonna benefit the rural folk here, because once again I have a goal, and that goal is to do a democracy, which I can do. I can't do it right now. But soon. Soon, Jamfel Longshar, I will put you in charge. I could afford to fight the scholar officials, probably. But I got my tenuous everythings. I don't want to risk any of that. Long-term strategy. That's what we're focusing on. These are long-term goals, and we're going to accomplish them in the long term. We're going to become long-termists. Is long-termist a word? I sure hope so. You seem pretty disinterested for someone who's on a border with one of my vassals. Man, I really hope I can enforce military access, because if I can't, that's going to be a whole situation. And they back down. Beautiful. Oh, I'm so pleased. Can't improve relations with them yet because I don't have the influence. I should be able to rival some of these powers. Yeah, let's rival some powers. Rylor, Carnatic, Cochin. I'm not going to just rival all of them. I'm not going to get silly about it. But I'm just letting you know. The temptation to get silly is high. Defensive back with Spain? No, thank you. Afghanistan, how are you doing? You're going down in Liberty Desire. That's very good. So. Universal suffrage will totally make the scholar officials furious. Carnatic declared rivalry back, that's fine. Grant him leadership right now. That moves us to an unacceptable government. But I might be able to swing something. It's still only an unacceptable government if I put the scholar officials out. I'm not going to do that. But I want you to know I'm considering it. Infamy's at 20, so I can't get too adventurous right now. But we'll just keep chilling and vibing. I want to get Hindustan, Khalsa Raj, and Afghanistan down to being vassals, and then we'll start going further. Rural folk are unhappy. Scholar officials are feeling better. Can I get to something a little better? I can go to oligarchy. That would make them a little happier. Land of voting scholar officials will be unhappy. Oligarchy, does this change my legitimacy? It should increase it. At least it'll give me a little bit more flexibility. So let's do that. Let's do an oligarchic monarchy, and then we'll be able to handle a little bit more. Just be able to mess around a bit more as time goes by. Bengal, I don't know why you think we can't be friends. Is it because you think I'm going to eat you? Because I am. Eventually. But not now. Now we can be friends. Nepal's a target next, but again, I think the goal is we want to get all these other small states down to vassals. Economic growth is continuing to go up. Are we outpacing our rivals? Yes. Particularly now that we've un-Britished the Raj. Oh hey, the Europeans are shooting at each other. That's fun. I hope both sides have a good time. So let's look into economic improvements. One of my armies needs another leader. Chief bourgeoisie guy, heck yes. He's a protectionist, everyone loves that. Low market access to southern Manchuria and eastern Guangdong. Hey, bread baskets. Wonderful. Eastern Guangdong. I'm slowly figuring out the geography of this lovely country that I am playing as. We'll get one railway under construction, and then we'll get the next one building in once this set of universities is finished. After that, enjoy that. If I could find you on a map, you'd be toast. Okay, they're down here. Ah, that's fine. That's fine. I don't need to subjugate them, although I want to. I can't just go around subjugating everyone I can see. On the other hand... Oh, I need to declare some more interests over here. This area is growing a lot more interesting. Alright, that's all my interests. 0% stall chance on oligarchy, so that should hopefully help me make things work a little better. That's making the scholar officials a little happier, which is fine. Industrialists also love oligarchy. Britain's colonizing Bougainville. Yeah, you go there. You go right to Bougainville. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200 pounds. Hey, standard of living went way up. Wonder why that is. That's okay. So, let's look at our options. I think I want to increase the education institution. That's going to cost me a huge pile of cash. And I'm going to need to prepare for it in the short term. Is that the right call? Not sure. Not sure. I got my interests activated. So Cochin. 12.3 infamy to take them as a subject. All right, so I'm not going to do too much of that. I need to keep my influence intact. If we went to standardized filing system for the entire government, how much am I currently doing? 30, 50, 80, 90, 150, 150 and change. All right, so I'm at about half for government admin on the new production method. So I can't actually. Yeah, no, I can't afford to increase it. I really want to, but I can't afford it. We'll just have to keep increasing the size of the military. Alright, Japanese shogunate. You've, hey, we're in consideration. You've been spared this time. You've been spared this time as I turn westward. I'm getting a lot of radicals due to the government being unacceptable, but, you know, it is what it is. We're like that. Once we're in an oligarchy, I'll have a lot more flexibility to move interest groups around and stuff, and then hopefully I'll be able to get something useful done. Maybe get myself an industrialist petit bourgeois government? We'll see. We'll see about it. How's the investment pool? Investment pool's looking pretty stonky. Might be time for another increase of the construction sector. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just trying to build up a little bit some of these areas that I haven't built up yet. Let me see. Another 10 is going to put us at 60. I think that's worth it. We'll just put those universities below the other stuff, and the construction sectors will be built in good time. Now, I often befriend Bengal, but also Bengal often includes all of this territory. And this time they didn't. They're just a regular major, although they are recognized. Which does mean... Wait. No, it's only if I can enforce demands on a great power that I can win. So I could go after Russia. Just do a big ol' conquest of a bunch of territory over here. Let's see what that would require. Diplomacy with Russia is neutral. I am improving relations at present. And I don't have an interest over there, but I should have an interest here. Really? What's happening over there? Maybe I need to reorganize my interests a bit. Hey, crystal glass. Excellent. Maybe Ethiopia is not a good target. Maybe East Siberia is a good target. Excellent. So, I still haven't figured out exactly what the Boxer Rebellion is. So maybe I'll just work on getting recognized for now. Yeah, and I think the best way to do that is to shoot at Russia. Which I feel like I have the capacity to do. So what is Russia? Russia has an alliance only with Serbia. Defensive pact with Austria. That's going to be a little bit of a hard sell. Defensive pact with Romania. That's also not great. Who are our other great powers? France, Britain, Prussia. Oh my goodness. Radical revolts in Britain. United States, Russia, Italy. Austria. How's Italy? Italy's often deceptively not as weak as they seem. Oh, they have an alliance with the Ottomans. I could probably break into them. Relations are neutral. So I could hit him with like some kind of, you know, like a ban slavery war or something like that. I don't think the Italians are doing slavery, but I think there's probably something like that, and then I can get, you know, humiliate and you know, something like that. Hey, Austria, we're friends. How about an embassy? They will not accept. They have a 22% chance of that. Alright, what about you? We've already asked. Prussia? Embassy? No. We have alliance with Prussian rivals. Alright. Well, that's a shame. Alright. Missionaries arrested in western Guangdong. Local authorities in western Guangdong have arrested several Canadian Protestant missionaries for inducing conflicts with the locals. They requested guidance on how the foreigners are to be treated. The green-clad constables brought forth a perfumed trunk and placed it in front of the manacled missionaries. One prized the lid open and waved his hand around the documents inside. All except one of the missionaries furrowed their brows and shook their heads. The one in the middle winced. The neat Latin handwriting was unmistakably his. Among the letters requesting cardinals for aid were reports detailing the habits of the local magistrate. Return them to the nearest concession area, 5% of pops in western Guangdong become more radical, or they will be treated like any other criminals. 2% of pops in western Guangdong become more radical. Canadian relations towards Great Qing deteriorates by 10. I'm going to do the second one. They'll be treated like any other criminal. We are a nation of laws. And when there are people doing crimes in a nation of laws, they are subjected to those laws. That is simply the way of things. It could not be otherwise. Bureaucracy numbers are looking a little better. Cash flow is good. Taking the plunge. Beautiful. Filing cabinets. The use of filing cabinets in the government administration has drastically increased the effectiveness of the state bureaucracy. No, the future isn't in flying in a bird, nor in roaring along in a train. No, the future is in filing. I love bureaucracy. 5% more bureaucracy, or store information about our citizens, extra progress towards identification documents. You know I'm taking that innovation. That should put us in a position to increase the, increase our stuff. I am going to build a little bit more admin. Just a few levels to make things reasonable. And to make sure that I've got, again, a little bit of a buffer when the other, once the completion of the increase in the size of the education system has finished. Slowly but steadily, we're going to get our literacy there. Standard of living is going up. It's taking a long time, but it is going up. Opposition members put forth demands. More pragmatically inclined members of the rural folk, currently opposed to the passing of oligarchy, have offered to change their stance were they to be offered certain political concessions. Such concessions would not be popular with the armed forces, however. Compromise makes a good umbrella, but a poor roof. It is a temporary expedient, often wise in party politics, almost sure to be unwise in statesmanship. Acquiesce to their demands, the bill must pass. Salty armed forces have more enactment chance. Compromise is a tool of the weak. Reduced enactment time, reduced enactment chance, armed forces happier, or a prime opportunity to break the bill from deadlock. One entire phase, increased enactment time further down, but armed forces very unhappy. This is going very slowly. I am going to acquiesce to the demands. We're going to go as can go. And the armed forces will be unhappy, but that is what it is. Reduce military goods cost. Sadly, I don't have access to patriotic fervor, but military research speed isn't bad either. Obviously, this takes a long time because my government is not really acceptable, but again, hopefully, the government will be more acceptable once we've moved into an oligarchic structure. Raj is going down in Liberty Desire, as are all of our new Western subjects. Infamy is reasonably reputable. We are going to lose a little bit of authority when we go to an oligarchy, but that simply is what it is, and luckily we've got plenty to play with. I could do a consumption tax, but again, I don't really see any really good options. This cash flow thing is a little tight, but I've been fine. I've been mostly fine. You know, I can always stop building for a bit, and having a higher level education institution is going to be really important long term. Because that's really what I'm here to do. What I'm suffering these large costs to accomplish. Let's get higher level education. Actually, Investment pool's still pretty full. So maybe it's time to build a few more... I can take a few more construction sectors. Should build up Shanxi a little bit more. So we'll throw those in at the top of the construction queue as well. And hopefully that'll get the investment pool running, and maybe I'll let the investment pool consume more construction as we go here. Because this number, that means they can afford to build and buy stuff. Lost a general. Probably a low-level guy. Let's go with this guy. He's an offensive planner. He's always making plans, and everyone is mad about them. How much am I getting now from diplomatic pacts? 31k? That's alright. I could definitely get more by taking more subjects. Nepal has been chilling here for a while. They don't have much of an economy. Don't wish to invest in you right now, France. If I can't have autarky as China, I can't have autarky as anybody. That said, it's been a pretty productive episode. We're making plans to expand into what was once the British Raj. Maybe there will be a Chinese Raj one day. Great Britain is now experiencing a huge revolt on account of I absolutely annihilated their everythings. And Canada is part of that revolt? That's... Oh, right. They're against the revolt. That's funny. So things are getting pretty funny over there in Britain, and I'm feeling pretty happy about that. Ooh, Cambodia got a huge chunk of Dynam. Now, they're still subjects to Britain, though. There'll be time. There'll be time. With that being said, that is all the time we got for this episode, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.